So we're going to be doing some V-sits now. So this is an ab workout, so it's a really good core workout. I'm going to finish off with some tricep dips for the back of the arm, the big no-wing area. Yeah, so we're going to do it as usual, take you through the beginner, intermediate and advanced version. I'm going to show you the technique now so that I don't have to talk too much during the actual track, so you can just get on with it, and then you won't have to sit through this every time you want to do your routine. You'll be able to do your separate routine after having watched this and learned how to set up the exercises correctly. Okay, we're also going to do some back raises as well, because when we work the abs we want to work the back in the same way to keep the posture straight, to prevent any shortening the muscles, just to keep everything balanced out. Okay, so starting with V-sits. So if you've heard of V-sits before, basically that's because your body's in a V, so you've got your legs up and your body's tilted back, forming a bit of a V shape. So with our version, we take our lower leg parallel to the mat, and there's a few different ways we can do this. Obviously I'm going to take you through each version. The full version is having the arms either side of the knees and just coming out as far as you can. Breathe out as you bring the knees in. At all times keep the chest lifted, head up, keep a nice gap between the chin and the chest. And then remember your breathing is really important. So nice deep breaths, going to get that oxygen to the muscles and help you do more. But as I always say, just go to your own limit. As long as you feel in that point where you think, oh, I can possibly do another one, then that's where you need to be to progress. You don't have to struggle through the whole track. As soon as your technique and your form starts to falter, that's when you know you need to be having a rest. Okie doke. Right, so what we're going to do for the beginners version of the V-sit, we're going to keep the heels on the floor. And so we've still got the sort of V here. We've got that 45-degree angle from the hip, but chest lifted, head up. Put the arms either side of the knees and just lean, come back as far as you can, and then back to that start position. We're never going to come right the way up because that's when we lose the tension in the abs. So we're going to work between the two areas here. So that's going to be your beginner's version of your V-sit. The intermediate version of a V-sit, we're going to try and see if we can get these feet up off the mat and just find your balance. I find staring straight ahead is the best way to keep your balance. Then you're going to hold behind your knees as you open out. So this can take some of the strain off your abs, and your arms are helping to do some of the work. So that's a good intermediate. And then, as I showed you at the beginning, the full V-sit is to take out and in with the arms just either side of the knees. Okay, so moving on to back raises. So I may have done these before, back extensions. So we're going to lie on the mat, facing down. You've got three different choices with your arm position. You can either have your arms on the mat, but you mustn't use your arms to push yourself up because you're wanting to use all the muscles of the back. But you can just have the arms there as a lever, just to sort of use a slightly if you need to, but it's only there for if you really need to. Then the second level, intermediate level, is to have your hands on your temples and lift. And then the advanced version is to have your arms out in front. It's quite a lot harder because what we're doing, we're increasing that lever length, the amount of the body that I'm having to lift up from the hips. So your advanced version is quite a bit more difficult, so you can choose between those. Again, I'll do the whole tracks in beginner, advanced, intermediate levels all the way through. Finally we'll come to seated and we're going to do our tricep dips. So we're going to have our hands right behind the back, point your fingers towards your back, and make sure your elbows are nicely tucked in and travelling in a straight line behind. Don't let them wing out. And chest lifted, head up as always. And we're just going to bend and straighten the elbows. So the only joint that's moving here, well, the hip's moving a little bit, but that's doing any work is the elbow. So the triceps are doing all the work here. If you want it to be a bit more tough, we've only really got two levels with this. So lifting the hips off the floor, but what we don't want is to lift up and down with the hips. We want to just keep bending the elbows. So all we're doing with the hips is adding in a bit of extra resistance, a bit more body weight. Okay, so yeah, try not to be doing this because it won't really work. and you just need to bend your elbows. So if you're finding it too easy, just like this, and by all means lift up the hips. One other thing to remember is to keep your hands directly beneath your shoulder so that you don't overstrain any of your joints and you don't overstrain your shoulders. For this track we're also going to be doing some side planks, so that's going to work the obliques individually. So what you need to do, for the beginner's version, we're coming over onto the elbow, we've got the elbow directly beneath the shoulder, and you're going to push the feet behind you and lift up onto your knees. So you're going to have a straight line here from the tip of your head to your knee, and then you're going to bend it. So we're going to put the hands on the temple and just bend the hips as high as you can, not tipping forward or twisting, and just lift the hips towards the ceiling, just as high as you can, so that it's not too high, and then come back down. And you should feel in the side of your waist a squeeze at this side, so that's your obliques working there. So as you can see, squeeze up and lower down, squeeze up, lower down, and feel that real squeeze here. That's the muscle we're working. Just make sure your elbow's directly beneath your shoulder. So that's your beginner's version. For a more advanced version, a bit tougher, we want the body nice and straight. So we've got both feet, one stacked on top of the other if you can. Hand on your temple, elbow beneath shoulder again, and we're just going to lift right away from the feet now. So it's a bit tougher, squeezing this inside of your waist again, and just breathe out as you lift. Try not to slump into that shoulder, keep it tall, keep that gap between your head and shoulder, and just see how you get on. Okay.